What the fuck?
Animal Farm. This took way too much effort to set up. I had to like move my entire dresser and then put my computer on top of it so I can get something to film me. And the lighting isn't even good because it's dorm lighting, but what'd you expect? Suzume. Suzume. That's my Suzume poster. That's a good movie. Good movie. Way better. Way better than this. So, yesterday, I went to the movie theater to see a movie called... Is it in this pocket? Yes, it's in this pocket. I went to see a movie called Animal Farm. And for the longest time, I wasn't planning on seeing this movie for reasons we'll get into later. But then I found out it was from the people who made Paws of Fury and Hit Pig. So, of course, if you know me, you know me. So I had to go see it. And it was something. Oh, it was something. Now, this movie is actually not brought to us by the illustrious Viva Kids. It is brought to us by Angel Studios, who is responsible for a bunch of religious garbage and a whole load of controversy that we're not going to get into. Before the movie started, they played this trailer for a film about George Washington that was edited like a fucking Marvel movie. So that was fun. And for some reason, they decided to pick up Animal Farm, which to an outsider looking in, I mean, judging by the poster, this probably looks like just another cheap kids movie. But there is more to it than that. Oh my god. Animal Farm is a novel by George Orwell that, admittedly, I'm not too familiar with. I haven't personally read it myself, nor have seen the original 1954 movie. But I do know, like, the gist of it and the themes and whatnot. And I do know that this movie handles them in a very interesting way. When the trailer for this was released, it sparked a whole lot of outrage due to the way it handled the source material and sort of modernized it. And I didn't think much of it, given I'm not too familiar with that source material, so I didn't give it much thought. But like I said, I found out it was from the people who made Paws of Fury and Hit Pig, and so I had to go see it. And after watching it, oh my god, this movie is one of the most what the fuck bizarre things I have ever seen in my life. It felt like I was watching a movie made by aliens. So much about this movie feels wrong somehow, and it makes you question how it got released and how it got such a wide release at that. I mean, Angel Studios puts their movies in more theaters than G Kids does, so that's fun. And like I said, it looks like a generic kids movie. Like, what is this? Animal Farm, a cautionary tale, like tale spelled Tail. Oh my god, you're so quirky. Ha. So if you're not aware of the source material, you wouldn't think much of this, but then you start watching it and it's like, What is this? So the movie is about this farm of animals who the farm gets repossessed by the bank, and they're about to be taken to the slaughterhouse, or as they see it, the laughter house. It's funny. So they rebel, and the farm is now theirs, and they title it Animal Farm.
Whoa, that's the title of the movie.
And like, so our characters, we have this old lady pig, this young pig who is our protagonist named Lucky, and Seth Rogen pig, who is literally just Seth Rogen as a pig. That is not a character. He does the laugh and everything, like, that's the best I can do. And so old lady pig deems herself in charge and makes a bunch of rules that, like, make sense, you know? But Seth Rogen pig is like, hey, let's fuck around and do whatever we want. And so the message of the movie becomes pretty obvious right away, even if you're not familiar with the source material like I am. But the way they go about presenting it is just bizarre. So like I said, old lady pig makes a bunch of rules, and they're like, no one should go in the farmhouse, no one should drink liquor, no one should fuck. And everything seems to be going well, and they're like, let's make a water mill and so we can get work done faster. And like, that seems like a sensible thing to do, doesn't it? But then Seth Rogen pig finds out, and it's like, and to get all the animals to rebel against the old lady pig. My computer just it just blackened out. I have to there we go. So to get the animals to rebel against the old lady pig, he just says, "That sounds like a boring idea. Doesn't that sound boring, guys?" and they all just go along with it. And so they drive away the old lady pig, and she's out of the movie entirely. And the narrator, who is Woody Harrelson, by the way, playing a horse, and we'll get to him. We will get to him. So the narrator says she was never seen again. And he wasn't wrong. That's the last time we ever see her. She's just out of the movie entirely. We get no explanation of what happened to her. It's so... What is this? So as you can imagine, Seth Rogen Pig takes over the farm, and he quickly turns it to shit. They have no food and whatnot. And the pigs, they sort of take over and deem themselves as above the other animals. And the message becomes even more obvious. And I think all of what I've described up to this point was in the original story. But from here on out, the movie goes off the rails in this attempt to modernize this story, and it is one of the most bizarre clusterfuck things I have ever seen. So it starts, like I said, the pigs have now taken over power, and the Steve Buscemi bank guy, because there's a Steve Buscemi bank guy, he's like, "You have to pay us money to keep your farm." So they decide to sell off eggs and crops and stuff like that. And it seems to work for them, and they have money left over. And so they're like, "Hey, let's go spend this money." And then they go to the mall. They go to the mall. The pigs just go to the mall. I can't, what is So, but then Seth Rogen Pig has a dilemma, because the humans are all laughing at him, and he's like, "That's a pig. Look, what is the pig doing here? The pig thinks he's human." And so the Seth Rogen Pig takes action. He's like, "We need to act more like humans." And so they have this meeting where they're like, "We need to stand up, yeah." And so they start standing up. They start wearing clothes. They start, I think, working the other animals to the bone or something like that. But Seth Rogen Pig was a terrible leader. Wow, what a shocker. And they have no food, and they have no money. So then they go to this evil businesswoman who was established at the beginning of the movie. She wants to own all the land like any generic kids movie villain. So they go to her, and the evil businesswoman is like, "Man, I'm taking an interest in your pig business. We're gonna be famous." And she gives the pigs a car and a whole lot of money and stuff like that. And it's at this point that the main character pig, Lucky, he's like, "Hey, maybe what we're doing isn't right." But that goes nowhere for another 30 minutes, so it's pointless. And then Seth Rogen Pig makes another deal with the lady that if she sells them the land, they can get all the fucking food they want forever. And he can, I don't know what he gets out of this deal. He just gets famous, I think. So they take over the land, and I kid you not, they play the Price is Right theme. They completely take over the farmland and whatnot, and they start building a dam because that's something the evil business lady wanted for some reason. And during all of this, there's this, that main character pig? Yeah, I remember him. He has this friend who's a horse, and then the horse gets hurt, and he's taken to, I kid you not, the glue factory and dies. He dies, and that's why Woody Harrelson is the narrator of the movie, because he voiced the horse, and then the horse just dies. What is this? This is where the main character pig is like, "Alright, something's up. What's going on?" He goes to Seth Rogen Pig, and he's like, "Hey, you're a bad leader." And we get this horrifying shot that I'll put on screen right now. And so in generic kids movie fashion, the pig has to the pig has to make up with all the other animals, and they start a rebellion. And so during this big show that the Seth Rogen pig and the evil lady are putting on, they sabotage him and they blow up the dam, I think. And like the entire earth floods. And it's like... And then they have this climactic battle where the Seth Rogen pig and the main character pig fight, and the Seth Rogen pig just drowns, and I could not believe it. And then at the end of the movie, I guess the animals, they live on this tiny island farm thing, and they're free from the humans, finally. And they end with the message that all animals are equal and free, and yada yada yada. But, like, I only scratched the surface of the plot. There's, like, a billion other things that happen in this movie, and it's just, like, one after another. It never stops. Like I said, you'd think this is just a generic kids movie about talking pigs or whatever, but Animal Farm is a more complex and deeper, more thematic book than that. And they're trying to adapt that, but in like a modern way. Like they have iPhones and stuff, and they have modern technology, and it's just, what are we doing? Like I said, we got pigs standing up, wearing clothes, driving cars, and it just gets to the point like, what am I watching? This movie is one of the most aggressively modern things I've ever seen in my life. Like, even just by the marketing, or like the fact that they have a rap remix of Old MacDonald that's like, Old MacDonald had a farm, la 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 la. Oh my god, that's a whole other thing. So much happens in this movie, and none of it connects together. I mean, it does. It's like, it's all this like building escalation to, it's to reveal that Napoleon is a bad leader, and that we shouldn't have leaders like that or something. But the way they go about it is just weird. Like I said, we have that old lady pig who just disappears from the movie entirely after about like 15 minutes. She is literally never mentioned again. They never explain what happened to her. And then we have the Woody Harrelson horse, who is like best friends with the main character, and he doesn't do much throughout most of the movie, but then he saves a human guy from dying, and then he breaks his leg. And like I said, they just kill him off. They take him to the glue factory, and they flat out do that. What is this? It is so weird watching this movie in a theater in 2026. Because, first of all, the animation, it looks like it was made in 2007. They have all these weird, or like a PS3 game or something like that. They have all these weird looking textures, but they do not have the budget to properly render them. And it just looks so off and weird. And the movie has like no visual style whatsoever, which just adds to its bizarreness. And secondly, and this is the big one, this movie is unlike anything else I have ever seen in my life. I think that's the whole point of Animal Farm. Like, you wouldn't expect, it's a cute little animal movie, but it's about it's about dictatorship and communism or whatnot. I don't know. So why did the creators of Paws of Fury and Hit Pig think they could adapt that story? Paws of Fury is a movie about a dog who's a samurai, and Hit Pig is a movie about a pig who's a bounty hunter. So they thought they could take on a movie about a pig, a group of pigs who like take over the world, and there's themes of communism and consumerism and dictatorship, and oh, what is this? It's just it's the kind of movie you never expect to see out of this studio or any other studio. I don't see DreamWorks making this. I don't see Sony making this. Illumination, like, no one would dare make this. It is such an anomaly to me. Like, if we judge it on a movie on its own, it's a damn mess. It's just like one thing happening one after another. The pacing is way too fast, and they just pile on plot point after plot point after plot point in only like I'd say maybe 20% of them get resolved by the end. The characters are uninteresting, and I will say the voice acting is like sort of enjoyable. I got ironic enjoyment out of Seth Rogen playing a pig, but they bank way too much off these actors, and they have this opening credit scene where like they're kicking the shit out of the humans, they're rebelling, like I said, and they play the old McDonald rap, and they just like, whoa. It is just, it's mesmerizing to me. I could not look away for this entire movie's runtime. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Like, was anyone hankering for an Animal Farm adaptation in 2026? And one that is aggressively modern and kiddified and weird. Actually, I say kiddified, but I'm not even sure if kids would enjoy this because it's not really aggressively like childish or anything like that. Like some portions of the movie, they're just like no jokes. They take it entirely seriously. But the problem is, I can't take it seriously because this is a movie about pigs who stand up and wear clothes and they use iPhones and stuff like that and they drive cars and there's a horse and he gets turned into glue. I already mentioned that. What is this movie? The entire time I watched this movie, I was just questioning what I was doing with my life being in that theater. I paid $13 to see this movie. $13. But you know what? Oddly enough, I think I enjoyed this. I cannot believe it. Now, am I saying it's good? No, this movie is fucking terrible. It's like probably like a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 or whatever. But it is at the very least interesting. There is just so much going on in this movie. It is so unpredictable. It has like zero structure, zero like flow from scene to scene, and like a bunch of different themes that don't connect together, and a bunch of characters who do nothing except for the main character pig and the Napoleon pig. But like I said, it's the type of movie you would never expect to see in 2026. Like compare this to other bad kids movies, like Smurfs. Smurfs was the worst animated film of last year, and this is likely going to be at least down there on the list for this year. But Smurfs is like every bad kids movie ever made put into a blender, and like just the most soulless, corporate, colorful kiddie slop you could possibly make. But this is different. They were trying. This is not a product of laziness. It feels like they were trying to make the worst possible movie they could have. And as a result, it feels unreal. I could not believe what I was watching at parts like when the pigs are driving the car when they go to the mall, or when the horse gets turned into glue. Remember, the horse gets turned into glue. And that climax where everything goes to shit and they like blow up the dam, and I guess the evil business lady, she died. They never really explain what happened to her. Like, it's a movie. Like I said, it's a movie no other studio would dare to make, and which is what makes it bizarre, but also kind of admirable to me. Like I said, it's dog shit. It is not good at all. It is horrible. But it is an experience. I will say that much. You need to see this to believe it. Like, it's so much worse than something like that, like the Pout Pout Fish or the Mario Galaxy movie. But you know, at least it gave me something I didn't expect. And you know what? I'll give it credit for that. I feel like I'm just a different person after watching this movie. I feel like I've entered into a new religion of Animal Farm or something like that. But you know what? It gave me something. I do not regret going to see this movie. I mean, I regret giving it money, obviously, but you know what? I had a fun time. I had the time of my life just watching this movie unfold in all its shit, in all its shitty glory. It's just, you never know what you're gonna get out of it next. And to me, that's a lot more admirable than a movie that's just going through the motions and doing what you expect. So, good job, Animal Farm, I suppose. I just had to get this out. I feel like this is gonna be a great movie to watch and rip on with friends once it comes out in HD, because it's just a fever dream, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Animal Farm now playing in theaters. Don't give it money. You probably don't want to give it money given who the distributor is. But if you want to like pay for a ticket to another movie and then like sneak into the movie and like sneak into the Animal Farm screening, then go ahead. It is just, I highly recommend watching this movie at some point because you don't want to miss it. It is unlike anything you have ever seen in your life. My name is Emoji. Thank you for coming to my Emoji Talks. God, that was awful.
Old MacDonald had a farm, had a farm. I said old MacDonald had a farm. Brick by brick, we break down the barn. Who's running it out? Better sound the alarm. Better sound the alarm, cause old MacDonald had a farm. So take a look around, cause it's all gone. There ain't no holding us back. We outside dressed in all black. It's going down like a lumberjack. Take a look around, ain't no needle in this haystack. Haystack, you are up against the best. Be cocked when I walk, there's an S on my chest. Better come correct before you go and flex. The whole squad's with me and they're ready for what's next. Yeah, let's go.